Well, greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and I'm doing a very, very bad Johnny Bravo impression. How y'all doing? We are here once again with Chris R. Notarile. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Chris. Thanks for coming on board. Of course, we're just a couple weeks out from Rick and Morty premiering. And, we thought, we really enjoyed having you on for the interview. And, of course, we've been covering a couple of your fan films as well. So we thought, hey, Rick and Morty coming up. And honestly, Chris, I'm not even trying to be humble here. Like, I really do think that your Rick and Morty stuff is some of the best fan films out there. So what better, we've got this connection. Let's do it. Let's, kind of like Dragon. What does Mickey Rooney say? You know it better than I do.
It's my uncle's got a barn. Let's put on a show. The very by the bootstraps, or sort of like, let's get what we have together. Let's do something.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I'm here too, Tiki. Just throwing that out there.
And Dragon's here.
Yeah, thanks. Paid over my intro, Mr. Bravo. Anyway,
I'm like wearing this sleeveless shirt to show off my tattoo, but it's like you can barely even see it unless I go to the side, so that's fun. Whatever.
It's funny because you look like a biker, but then we see the tattoo and it's just like
it's Stitch. Yeah,
it's
right.
Stitch, yeah. So it subverts the expectation because like, oh my god, is this guy gonna rob me? Nope, he's gonna try and get in front of me.
To be fair, Stitch could beat the crap out of any biker any day of the week.
Of course he can. I would love to see Stitch versus Kirby.
Oh,
God,
they both eat anything, so I think they'd be evenly matched. Highly durable.
Yeah, and as much as I want Stitch to win, I think Kirby's going to win out. That's the sad thing of this.
Kirby would then acquire Stitch's powers.
Exactly. I mean, Kirby sucks in the best of ways.
All right, so Chris, I want to give a big congrats to you, sir, because you just released the first promotional image for Powdered Toast Man, which I am stoked for, man. Like, Dragon and I are like 1,000% behind that project.
I wrote the script last week, and I just did the promo shots last night. It's going to be traumatizing and terrifying.
In the best clenching for any pope out there.
In the best way possible. We're gonna try and go for the effect and everything. I actually have I made the mask, and I have a little motion tracker on the forehead. So I'm going to try and digitally graft my actor's face onto the powdered toast thing. So it's not a whole cutout; it's his face on as a 2-dimensional thing. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge, and hopefully I can make it work. Otherwise, I'm stuck with the literal hole in his face is poking through, and I really don't want to do that. So we'll see how that one goes. But the story is still pretty terrifying and freaky.
All right, so like I said, we're here to talk Rick and Morty fan films, and of course, Chris, your first Rick and Morty fan film is appropriately enough Rick and Morty Ruin, a fan film.
Yeah. I wanted to get meta with it. I wanted to prank people, actually, because I released 2 versions of the film, and they're the exact same film, except one has a thumbnail for Johnny Bravo, and it's called the Johnny Bravo fan film, and the other is called Rick and Morty fan film.
I remember this. I fell for this.
And I wanted to see exactly, which one A would do better, and B, people's reactions when they watch it again. They go, "This is the exact same movie," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the joke."
As much as I love Johnny Bravo, I would wager to say Rick and Morty probably did better.
It did. I don't think the Johnny Bravo one is up anymore because I think it got flagged for some reason as a duplicate or whatever.
Well, I know it's not up there right now because now it's just the Rick and Morty. So,
but yeah, it was. I loved trolling people that year and just having like nothing but contempt for viewers with that short film. There's just so much contempt in general for everything, from viewership to the art of fan film making to just mocking myself entirely and being utterly, you know, brutal about the whole process of why we do what we do. Because nobody makes a fan film just because they love it. They make a fan film because they're trying to cash in and capitalize on an existing fan base. That's why franchises exist, you know? And I'm not above outing myself.
But you do all that, in the confines of Rick and Morty, and I think that's the master stroke of this thing.
I agree. I mean, having Rick and Morty say all those things is what makes it funny, because Rick and Morty in general have such contempt for everything. So it's not like I'm just kicking myself or making fun of other people who, you know, do what I do. It's Rick and Morty literally just doing meta commentary on everything in the style of their own show. So I feel that, you know, it's safe under that umbrella, because there's
and
no
you give a poor fan film actress like basically the equivalent of like the poor butter robot. This
basically,
is my purpose. Oh my god.
I love the idea. I saw this filmmaker's work. His name is Tom Scott. He's a big famous British YouTuber. But a long time ago, he did a short film called I think it was either student film or just short film, and it was a character who discovered that he was a character in a short film, and that when the movie was going to end in 5 minutes, he was going to die.
Oh my god.
And he has this whole, like, you know, existential crisis of, but the movie's going to end. What happens? Where do I go? Like, who was I before the movie started? And I like the idea of someone realizing they're nothing but a two-dimensional character. So I kind of want
the Rose of Cairo-esque.
Ryan Reynolds and Free Guy as well.
Kind of, but at least in Free Guy, he knows who he is, and he's just breaking the mold, essentially.
Sure, I hear you.
In mine, I like the idea of, when it comes to schlocky and bad writing, you know, if you ever saw Vanilla Sky, Kurt Russell's character, I have a wife and 2 daughters. Oh yeah, what are their names? And he's stumped because he keeps saying I have a wife and 2 daughters, but at no point can he put a name to them. So I like the idea of, in terms of a lot of people who are amateurs and trying to get out there, or just generally bad writers in general, they just create characters that didn't exist before the story started. You know, they're there for the sake of the plot. So I thought having the office girl in this one, we call her Suicidal Cindy, having her be this two-dimensional character that becomes aware that she's two-dimensional, I thought was funny.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the master stroke of the whole sketch. I really feel like that's kind of like a heartbeat that really gives this thing life.
I really appreciate the clever bait and switch of it all. With you know, we're doing a Johnny Bravo fan film to this, and it just occurred to me, it's like, let's take a fan film premise without a lot of legs. If we're being honest, not a lot of legs here. It's a lot of pickup lines.
Johnny Bravo would not survive in today's society, and this is made in a post-Me Too era.
Exactly.
And I thought, how funny would it be if you just bring in classic Johnny Bravo and put him in present day? Like, his shtick would not fly. No one cares for that. And I even went as far as to switch my fonts. I opened up the movie with a completely different font altogether. There's no mention of Rick and Morty, no themes whatsoever, until they literally just show up, and that's when there is the complete shift. And I wish there were more reaction videos to that, because I would love to just see people watching this thinking they're getting a Johnny Bravo movie, and then just jaws drop, or someone just flips over the table going, "The fuck is this?" You know? Because I did have some of those reactions. Like, there are some comments where people were like, I was expecting a Johnny Bravo fan film, and fucking Rick and Morty show up, and I'm like, did they ruin it? Yeah, they ruined it. So sorry.
God.
All right, Chris. Any other notes or anything on how this came about? Any background that you want to get into?
All right, so this came about specifically after the premiere of season 2, I believe, of Rick and Morty, when or was it season 3?
I'm pretty sure it's season 3, Chris.
It was season 3, yeah. After the premiere of season 3, when they ended on that Szechuan sauce thing,
yeah,
and that went nuts, I'm like, I have to fucking make something immediately. I wanted to cash in on that. I wanted to try and, you know, make something that would get some attention from myself. And I knew the deadline. I knew when because they premiered that, I believe, on April Fool's Day, and then they were gonna, like, have the season kick off in like
Yeah.
June or July. So I had a good couple of months to do that while they just replayed everything. I'm like, all right, I got to make something. And immediately I thought, okay, what can we do? And then I had settled. I said, all right, well, Rick and Morty do meta commentary on everything. What if I do? And I already had done my Freakazoid short film. So I thought to myself, I'm just going to continue with that idea of ruining a fan film itself, thus Rick and Morty ruin a fan film. That's where the whole idea really came from. And I go, okay,
Don't
what
say his name. Do you want us to get sued?
I know. And I thought to myself, what is the best sort of fan film that they can ruin that won't cost me anything? And obviously, I wanted to be kind of an in-universe. I'm like, all right, well, Johnny Bravo could easily appear. And I also thought that, okay, on the offset that Harmon and Roiland see this, and the studio execs at Cartoon Network and Adult Swim are like, let's air this. I wanted to have characters that they could just use no matter what, and I know that they have access to Johnny Bravo. That's why, I don't have Deadpool showing up because that's Marvel, and that would create problems. So I think about these things ahead of schedule, just on the offset that it does get picked up, or someone likes it, or whatever. There's a chance it could get featured on the channel. So I did that and everything, and I chose Johnny Bravo because I thought, what is just some stupid ass crazy scenario? What can I do? And I'm like, Johnny Bravo in a post Me Too era could be funny, and that was it. That was literally how the whole thing came about.
And it's such a simple premise too. And so let's just dive right into it. Dragon, any other notes on your end?
No, it's just sort of like, I love that we kind of call out, the Johnny Bravo at all with the surprise fan films, in waiting and everything, and it's, it's very on brand for, it just feels. Let me put it this way: like the fact that we use Johnny Bravo feels like on brand for Rick and Morty, in that we have like parodies of Garfield and stuff on Rick and Morty.
Right,
like
yeah.
Garfield with the extra arms and everything.
Yeah.
So it just felt like it just kind of. It makes a lot of sense, yet just kind of being just very kind of random and disparate. It just kind of works. And again, the cynical, kind of the cynical kind of prompt of it all. I don't know, it's kind of fit with the meta commentary, I suppose. It works wonderfully. So yeah, I guess we should let's just start breaking it down. Let's
do it.
Okay, so we start with a preliminary interview. It's happening. I love how just kind of auspicious the event feels. Like interview Monday, 11:03 a.m.
It almost kind of feels like a found footage setup or something.
I went for a bit of an Office style opening.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
There was no music. There were dates, because I'm pretty sure in the pilot episode of The Office, I think they had dates in there. Did they not? Okay, cool.
I think so. Yeah, at least in the early
sounds
seasons.
right. Yeah.
So they Anyway, so I have I just love this build of when you say 11:03 a.m. I was thinking it's the build of when the world went to madness, like something happened.
Well, of course, Dragon, A Quiet Place, the Quiet Place franchise uses that, the whole they use the day thing, every movie opens with a day, so that's what I think of. Anyway, sorry.
All right, so Johnny Bravo.
Okay, Chris, can you just highlight this actor, because he's just an absolutely perfect Johnny Bravo?
Chris Bourdrais. I found him off of backstage.com. I was casting for the part, and I was looking for you have to put in the filters. So I put in lean, muscular, blonde, white guy, in that range. It's just like a dating app, basically. I have looked at so many photos of shirtless men. It's ridiculous.
That's funny.
And basically, I messaged. I saw him, and I'm like, all right, this dude's a square-jawed, handsome, pretty boy. Great. Blonde hair, great. And I go, hey, can you do Johnny Bravo? He's like, yeah, I can do Johnny Bravo. And I'm like, all right, let's hear it. So we worked on the thing a little bit, and the accent and the portrayal, and it worked good enough. I mean, it would have been nice if he had Chris Hemsworth sized arms.
Right. Yeah.
You make do with what you got. He had the hair, so that was the most important thing. And ultimately, I brought him in, and we did the teaser poster first of him as Johnny Bravo, because that was the most important thing, was to have those photos out there and start the misdirection of having people thinking this is a Johnny Bravo movie.
Okay, Chris. Now I'm just thinking that like really really big man is gonna come in at the Powder Toast Man movie. Like you're gonna pull that stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
No, there will be no bait and switching for Powdered Toast Man. That's very 100% straightforward. All Powdered Toast Man and Rick and Morty will not show up. It's just going to be a fucked up movie on its own.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, but okay. So let's see. We have and like you say, Chris, just this general setup that's just so freaking like easy and and simple to do. It very much feels like the kind of thing I'm surprised something like SNL hasn't done yet, because it just feels like very very straightforward humor in a good way. Like of course Johnny Bravo would survive in today's workplace. He'd be screwed.
Yeah. Now, I do believe SNL has attempted to do that with other characters. I can't remember what, but I do know they've taken like outdated characters and put them in a post Me Too era, which is always funny. But I don't think they would ever go the distance that I went with this. I have more of a Mad TV and Living Color style humor when it comes to sketch comedy. I'm going Fire Marshal Bill on something, like I'm not going to pull a punch if I can.
Sure.
Yeah, the fun thing about Johnny Bravo is you look back at the first season, particularly the first couple episodes, mainly like the pilot. They used to break it up into segments. So I don't know if it's all in the pilot or if it's maybe like the first couple episodes. They get very kind of the golden rule of Johnny Bravo is he can get away with hitting on all these ones so long as he never gets anywhere, and they always abuse him physically in an over-top cartoony way. But that first episode, though, it's like he's getting maced, he's getting a little handsy in the first segment where he full on kisses a woman in a cartoony over the top way, and it's like, so I just love that we're kind of calling that into question here. Like, yeah, so if you look at it, especially those early years, I mean, the redeeming qualities, he loves his mama and everything.
I think the redemption of the show itself was that Johnny would always get his comeuppance. Like he never came out on top in any scenario, and he was never portrayed as a role model. He was funny because he would always get his ass beat for being inappropriate. So keeping in that kind of spirit, I just loved the idea that it's almost like Beavis and Butthead. If they ever got the chance to score, they still would not know what to do.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I kind of wanted to imply
Johnny's
that
incredibly stupid,
Yeah,
it's a bag. His head's like a sack full of rocks.
Yeah, and so I believe that one of my favorite parts is when she says, do you know what what was it something about
Misconduct?
Misconduct.
Mr. Conduct's wife?
Yeah, I'm like, that's a Johnny Bravo answer because that's how dumb he is.
So again,
single.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, our Johnny Bravo actor, he's right off the screen as Johnny Bravo, which is just so impressive and just so unreal. My favorite thing, though, in the direction of the Johnny Bravo kind of portion of this is just like the posing, the little whoosh effect.
I needed to make. I had the edit, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, this guy needs sound effects, and I actually sped up his movements in between the posing, so he could move a little bit more faster in sync with the sound effects. So I wanted to make sure that when he got to each key pose, it was really fast.
That's what I'm saying. It was just so well represented. It was like that's. I mean, even for like the minute and 45 seconds of Johnny Bravo we get here, really, it's completely.
Yeah. If I'm gonna tease you with something, I'm gonna at least give you, it in full purity. Sure, I don't wanna. I'm not gonna do Darth Vader in the prequels. Is I love the Patton Oswalt thing. Like he does George Lucas. Hey kid, do you like ice cream? Yeah, I do. Okay, well here's some milk and some sugar, and some ice. Have some fun. I don't want the ingredients. I want the fucking ice cream.
Oh, that's great. All right, so I want to talk about Cindy. Let's talk about Jessica Rae. What is it, McLeland?
Jessica McLeland, yeah.
So let's how'd you find her, and what was the main instruction for her here?
Well, Jessica had applied to a previous role in one of my other projects, and so that's how I got to know her. And she had a knack for comedy. In this, basically, we wanted to go with the va-va-voom, office lady that is not for it, but I wanted to make her look like how porn, like 90s porn portrays office scenarios.
Totally.
It's like the
yeah.
intentionally unbuttoned thing on the shirt.
Right. Yeah.
So we had the unbuttoned blouse, we had the big hair and the big makeup, and just the heaving bosom, even though she didn't even want it. And I guess if you're looking at it from a practical standpoint, it doesn't matter what she wears; it's how she feels. And if she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. Just because she's not dressed like a librarian doesn't mean that she shouldn't be treated properly. So anyway, visually, the gag was we wanted to go with that va-va-voom style of this, she wants it, right? And then of course having her have a general persona of no, I don't want it, I'm trying to do my damn job, and then Johnny just being Johnny. So it's a very simple idea.
Yeah, for sure.
She was the straight man of the bit, so she had to just not be affected. She couldn't be over cartoony or overly wild, because that's reserved for Johnny.
Another line I really like is the whole do you even have experience in insurance? Of course I do. I assure my mama every day that I love her. That's assurance, not insurance.
I just like the idea of someone who's just way too frustrated with the. She's over. She's over it before the sketch begins, and I like that.
Right. Okay. Go ahead, Dragon.
So again, of all things, like he's applying for an insurance job, which clearly is not thought through. Again, just honestly speaking of Esseni's appearance, again, I do love how it is on brand for you always have an attractive woman. Just fits just that the shape of what
you have the attractive woman who's in a position of power over him, who's clearly not into him.
Very straight laced, very just clearly if ever he'll walk down the street and stop and dart back and oh, hello there.
Oh God.
He probably just saw her in the street, saw she went into the building, something like that. Anyway, so okay, let's see. So and against
well, how about I assure you, how about you tell me how I can get my A in your assurance?
No, A in your assurance.
Oh, right.
My A in your assurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
My bad.
Good.
Johnny is a punny kind of guy.
That he is. This is a professional work environment. Like competitive bikini dancing? And again, that's absolutely what John Bravo watches. He's always watching chick wrestling or something like that from the show. As we have a zero tolerance policy for sexual misconduct. I mean, Mr. Conduct's wife.
Oh God.
I
agree with Chris. That whole Mr. Conduct's wife thing is probably the best stupid Johnny writing of the sketch.
I wanted to mature the Johnny jokes a little bit, just because for a fact that joke would have been pitched way back when, but the network would probably have said no to that in a three-way. So I felt that we're mature now, so Johnny can be a little bit more mature in some of the humor.
Yeah, just again, it's unrated enough, or it's it's something would that be like a pussycat today, where back then it would have been a lot more.
Yeah, I've never been with a guy before. Do I have to touch?
Or kind of how, generally speaking, we sort of write Scooby-Doo humor these days.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo humor has definitely gotten a little bit more mature as well, and a lot more self-referential and meta. Yeah. I like that Johnny is also so desperate to be with a woman that he is willing to, be, homo flexible or hetero flexible.
Yes.
And so I love the back and forth. I just like within the editing style here. It's just that classic, back and forth dialogue with Johnny and just the other party, where it's we're sort of we're done here. So I got the job. Just completely, just not realizing it all. It's just so thick-headed.
Without missing a beat.
It's so I got the job. No, why?
We're going another direction. I love the why, because I want it to be just so flat. Why?
Yeah. Right. It's the one very flat line that Johnny has. It's everything else is super exaggerated, and then the why is just very.
He just doesn't get it.
Just why.
Thick head, but so hollow through in the canal of the ears. Just like one ear out the other. And we have just this, we have just some great physical comedy here. He's doing like a little finger walk across the desk, and so I'm talking about like the whoosh and just kind of the zoom ins. Like it's like how about you and me grab some dinner and see where it takes us. And of course, as his fingers are traveling, we have the whoosh as like my I'm married just shows the ring on the finger. I'm married, and I've never done a couple before all that. And like the whole three-way proposal. They didn't say no yet. Of course, as basic things are not going well here. Before she's about to call the security here. It's about to call security. We've reached an impasse. Again, logically, this is our end point. We're okay. Well, we've kind of gone as far as again. The most we can really expect here is like Johnny probably being thrown out by security and like falling on his face or some little banana peel here. That's usually what we do. Probably be a little hard to realize in live action, but just as we've reached kind of the logical endpoint, we spice things up with the brilliance of a crossover.
Yeah, I definitely knew that was the logical end of that particular story because he would have just gotten kicked out.
Sure.
The only way to go further with Johnny Bravo at that point would be escalation, which would have to involve police and then court.
Right. Yeah,
I'm not going that way because that's a one. Unfortunately, Johnny is a one-note joke. So
he very much is. Like rewatching stuff like Johnny Bravo and Cow and Chicken and stuff like that. Let's say when I was in high school, man, it was an eye-opening experience because I loved it as a kid. But then when I rewatched it, I was just like, oh man, like these shows are all literally just like a handful of jokes just repeated into the ground.
Yeah. So that's why even if I ended the movie right there, you wouldn't feel like you lost anything. So by that point, yes, when Rick and Morty do show up, it narratively makes sense because we have nothing more to say with this current story.
Would have been funny if Carl was the guy he was competing against for the job.
Oh god.
Just throw it out there.
Carl, honestly. I prefer the season 1 Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, me too.
Adam West and Luke Perry.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's way better. Yeah. I mean, Carl is he's Carl.
I mean, honestly, the latter Johnny Bravo I liked for the pops of it all. I always loved like Johnny kind of this mentor figure, but I mean, outside of that, the first season honestly really kind of stands above the rest.
I don't really care for Carl either. Right. Anyways, okay, so yes, Rick and Morty emerge from the iconic green portal.
I was upset because I ended up finding out about a year or so later they made the website I went to get this portal effect made a Rick and Morty portal.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't available when I had done my short, so I had to create. I had to use a pre-existing template, which is orange and spinning. It wasn't the globby green goo that they use in the cartoon. And then I come to find out a year or two later, they actually made it. The same website made it. I'm like, damn it. I did use that for my Zatanna short. So the Rick and Morty portal appears in my Zatanna short when she opens a portal. But I really wished I had it for this short. That's like my biggest pet peeve is that I didn't have the legitimate portal at the time to make this.
Well, I still think it looks fine, but I get it.
It looks fine, but it could have been cooler. It would have been nice to just have like the amorphous green blob that just looks like
for sure
like slime.
So out of the portal emerges Rick and Morty, played by John Atkins and Nicholas Polly.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this pair, I mean, again, just the casting has always been one of the greatest strengths of Blinky Productions. I've found. I mean, so rare is the day you will find an off-casting choice.
The only downside is that Nick was too tall for Morty, and that kid's a tall kid now. Yeah, I think he's like 18 at this point, and because he was 14 when we actually shot. He was actually a 14-year-old boy, and he was already like 5'10".
Oh wow!
And I'm like, I'm gonna have to break some kneecaps up in here, man. Because you are too tall for this.
But I'll tell you though, his physical performance later is a bit that he does in this. They're just gonna have that's Morty right there. He captured all the subtle movements. That's great.
His mom, he persuaded his mom when we were casting him to let him watch the show because
nice.
He wasn't allowed to at that point. So I spoke with her. I'm like, he needs to watch the show. Let him watch the show.
That's funny.
And he's just like. So it was funny. But yeah, he got all the physicality. And again, as I had mentioned this before, I had to act out some of the things to get the exaggeration. So there's nothing filmed of this, but anything he ended up doing physically, I had done to myself. So it's kind of funny. I'm running around like going, Jesus, Rick, like freaking out and having a spasm.
Right.
Awesome.
And then, of course, the actor playing Rick is just incredibly on brand.
John was great. It was funny because he actually has Rick's hairline front and back, so and the exact length it needed to be. So I was kind of shocked about that. Styling his hair was kind of funny because I'm straightening it out, and he's got the bald spot in the back, and I'm spiking out the sides and everything. Painting the monobrow on him was a little annoying just because he doesn't have one, so I had to make that and try and make that look legit. For the drool, we actually used green cake gel.
Nice.
So it's very, very nice tasting drool.
Oh, I use that gel.
Yeah.
All
right. So okay.
Yeah,
So anyway, all right. Let's see. So Rick and Morty appear. Apparently we've landed in the middle of a fan film. From the looks of it, not a very good one.
Well, I love the breakdown of fan films being like, either obscure or I'm sorry, Chris, what is it?
What did I say? I don't remember. Not very
Dragon,
good.
help me out here.
What do you mean? Not very obscure? I don't know what you're looking for here.
Where it's like basically like Johnny Bravo is clearly in the obscure camp.
Oh, I don't have to. I have to pull up the script because I'm not watching this right now. I haven't seen it in a while.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I'll do this. I'm gonna fucking do this, man.
Well, no, I got it in here. I just got to get to it. I was gonna wait till we get to the lines.
I swear to God, I'll beat you to it. Shit, do I not have the damn script? I only have Rick and Morty 2. Rick and Morty: The Search for Szechuan Sauce. And now that's the Ronald McDonald one. Damn it! Now I don't have the damn script. I am upset. Unless I saved.
Guys,
oh no,
I'm
I have it.
sorry.
I saved it as Johnny Bravo. Haha! I found it. Rick says it's all about views, Morty. No, let's see. No, where are we? A fan film, a crappy low-budget movie, usually made by fans of some famous obscure property. In this case, of course, being the latter. They're hastily poorly written, and a waste of everyone's time and money.
All right, so Chris, I assume that is you venting some stuff right there, right?
I will never, ever, ever do meta commentary where I compliment myself.
Right.
That's the biggest form of self-fellatio or autofellatio. I will never autofellate myself in any capacity when it comes.
Never do it on autopilot.
Yeah, when it comes to making a movie. So if I'm ever doing a movie with meta commentary and it falls under my trade, I'm gonna make the fun of myself as much as possible because if you don't have a sense of humor about yourself, get out of the business, right?
No, totally. I totally.
And I'm also in many ways quoting or paraphrasing some of the language that was used to describe my work by some people over the years who just suck. Because there are people just dedicated to hating me, as everybody has. If you don't have enemies, are you even doing it right?
Yeah. No, I hear you. So yeah, the whole thing is just perfect with Rick's mannerisms because we get sort of just like the whole like, oh, looks like you're in a fan film or whatever. All right, I'll get out of your hair soon.
Very I love the apologetic.
Like very passive aggressively casual.
He's definitely passively aggressively nihilistic when it comes to this sort of thing. And I like the idea of him being dismissive, and then of course what I love about Rick the most is he will wake somebody up and then leave them on their own to figure out now the problem he just created. It's just like, hey, you're a two-dimensional character with no beginning and no end. See ya. What? Whoa. Like, how do you respond to that? How do you react to that? And I thought that was funny.
Yeah, so this turns into like I think definitely the most clever idea of the sketch, like really just like Rick Sanchez breaking someone's perception of reality, which he has been known to do. That's on
Yeah.
brand for Rick.
Yeah. And then if you notice, things literally get dark in this movie.
Right.
Like the color
Yeah.
literally gets sucked out. From this point on, it starts getting grayer and more high contrast and desaturated as the music kicks in. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. By the way, I want to highlight this. I do love like the fourth wall look to, or it's just like explaining to Cindy what what a fan film was. It was all look to camera, and it's like, oh, it's a good thing I'm always camera ready. I don't give a crap. says Rick, just like it's nice.
I believe that look to camera was inspired by and an homage to Kevin Smith in Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of that, where Ben Affleck, Ed Benkey it was Ed Benkey, right? He's talking about the internet and explaining how some people do favors for other people, and then everyone just looks at the camera, and Kevin Smith's like.
Yeah, they did a moment similar to that in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah.
That's cute. All right. So anyway, yes. So things start to devolve here after Rick says, "Wait, my life's a lie. Your life's a lie. Welcome to the club." It's the nihilist, kind of the welcome to nihilism from
again. It's
Rick
very
Sanchez.
much kind of like the whole like your purpose is to serve butter.
Yep. There was a lot of inspiration taken from that one bit. I thought that was just
It
way
very
too
much felt like in
hilarious.
that very much felt like it was in that mold for sure.
So after that we have the Blinky Productions standard. I found with the turn. Where things lines up just perfectly with kind of the cynical escalation of Rick and Morty, where after Johnny Bravo makes a very generic joke as like the whole "this is a joke" and call me your punchline. And then she's like she get the F away from me, and she's like the way this is shot is what just feels so quintessential Blinky Productions, and I love every second of it. Where like get the F away from me, wait, take me with you, and she climbs over the desk with such desperation, just breaking the Johnny Bravo style in that moment. It's like yes, love it.
Well, it's because the character is literally woke now.
Yeah.
And seeing that, it's once you strip away the veil, you see the camera, you see the audience watching you, you realize that your life is a joke. How does one react in those situations? What kind? Because now you're not bound by the mold. And in this case, she was just a two-dimensional character who just became 3D. Essentially, and she's just like freaking out, man.
And this is when we have that Nicholas.
Am I married? Do I have a husband? I don't know my husband's name. Who am I? How old am I?
What was I doing before I entered this room?
Yeah, basically the big kind of heady Inception questions.
Oh yeah.
So before that, Nicholas Polly has my favorite Morty bit here, is with the awkward kind of fidgeting Morty. Here.
Oh yes,
this
like is also my favorite Morty bit. Dragon, go ahead.
So Rick saying no can do. Morty and I have our own fan base and continuity to get back to. You see him kind of just kind of fidgeting here. Just, again, that was just like looks like Morty just kind of brought from from 2D to 3D right there. It's like, oh my god, look he's got like the Morty just constantly in scenes in the show, just doesn't really know what to do when Rick's mixing up. They'll do it's like the equivalent of like the lip troop, from Rick and Morty almost. So Cindy's breakdown begins as she begs to come along.
I'm sorry, I also really love Morty's goodbye, good luck or whatever.
Yeah.
And away we go. No! So the full-on breakdown from Cindy happens, and John Bravo. I just loved it throughout until
Bravo was like legitimately like trying to be helpful in this situation for the most part.
Yeah, but he's like completely unaffected until the gun comes into play.
Right. Yeah.
But it takes that to really wake him up that something might be awry here, and there's some fan. So there's just this heady idea that Rick and Morty have the heady Rick and Morty idea that we've poisoned the status quo of this of this
fan film. They've ruined a fan film basically.
Yeah, but I love that it's like a subsect of the Johnny Bravo reality, which is a Johnny Bravo fan film reality, which
That
is
also,
like,
by the way, makes me immune to casting criticism because
yeah.
some were to say, "Oh, he's not that buff." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
he is in a fan film,
Mm-hmm.
so it is a fan film.
Totally.
An entire existence that is like predestined to last for roughly like 5 minutes. I mean, as they say, like 5 minutes.
Also, by the way, this now alludes to fan film Rick and Morty dimension. There
Yeah.
must be in the infinite, dimensions and timelines. There must be a fan film universe of everybody where everybody is cast as somebody else.
Sure. Oh
This
god.
is, this is fan film dimension Rick and Morty.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so then when we have like the whole like I told you I'm married. Am I even married? I don't know my husband's name. I don't remember anything from 5 minutes ago. And again, it's just John Bradley's like sniffing her hair.
Yeah, it's like he's like trying in his own creepy way to be helpful, but he's obviously not doing a good job of it.
Do I have a name? What's my name? I can't
It's like,
anything.
hey, come on now, mama.
He actually gets close to her here, and I kind of like how she's just kind of not going with it, but she's in such shock that she doesn't care at this point. That he's
Yeah,
on her.
right. It's like he used to be her biggest problem a couple minutes ago, and now he's just like
He's a footnote.
it's barely even registering with her that he's even
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
What do I even feel right now? My shirt, boyfriend material. That one's really clever. That's a really clever one. It's really funny. It's bad, but it's so good.
I'm surprised that has never made it. I don't recall that ever being in a Johnny Bravo cartoon episode.
It feels like it must have, though, right?
It feels like it must have, and if not, huge missed opportunity. So I really wanted to make sure I had that one there because I think that was a good driving home factor of like, oh my God, shut up already, you know?
So this is when the color drains out and we do like the noir kind of like vaguely. Basically, we do like, I love this. We've taken nostalgia and we've unromanticized it within the fan film by draining the color away and like the vibrancy and just like the innocence practically. And it's just like, life means nothing, and then she has a gun in the drawer.
And then
How did it get there? We don't know. It just
right.
materialized.
Exactly.
As soon as the gun comes out, that's when Johnny Bravo like he kind of starts to get it a little.
Starts
bit.
to take notice, really. Just like kind of downer right now, right?
By the way, I want to point out, I don't know if any of you noticed this, but did anybody notice that Johnny was just, once he saw the camera, he just started posing for the camera the whole time?
Yeah, he's like leaning on the desk backwards.
Yeah, I wanted to pay attention to that because I told him to do that, or I think he started doing it, and then I encouraged him to continue doing it because I thought it was really funny that as soon as...
It was a good call.
Yeah, thank you.
And then of course, just I like how even when he acknowledges that something's off, he still says it in like a very broken sentence structure.
Yeah, because again, he's like smart. It's a really high concept thing. You would have to console
Right,
facilities to do that.
Exactly.
All right, so like, hang on, Mama.
Johnny never breaks character for anyone.
Nope.
All right, let's see. So then, oh god, then we have again just this, just this great, fourth wall break to us, the audience here. Just this. Oh god, stars are so funny. Is this what you want to see, you mother effers? Are you a mother effers entertained? Just like bam, bam, shoots Johnny twice, and then pulls like a Psycho 3 opening. There is no God.
Oh God. Right.
I just wanted to go full on just mental breakdown on that one and say anything that any uptight conservative would get offended by. I just way to go because
it feels very on brand for what a Rick and Morty existential rant is.
Yeah. So we have the suicide, basically living up to her credited namesake, suicidal Cindy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that her fate is that she made, the proactive, like basically the only proactive choice she can make in her fan film reality. It's like knowing that she's now three-dimensional. Well, like the only thing I can do, the only choice I can possibly make in like a 5-minute existence, I don't even know if I can walk outside. I'm gonna shoot myself with this gun that's luckily in the drawer.
Well, it's definitely, the Rick and Morty way of thinking, essentially. Take your life into your own hands, no matter the cost.
Yeah,
So
life's meaning.
she kind of
Yeah.
crossed over at that point.
Mhm.
So then Rick and Morty return. And the color returns. So then we just have us Morty panicking. Oh, Jesus Christ, Rick! What's happened?
This very much reminds me of the Simpsons couch gag. Oh God!
Kind
Rick,
of.
you killed the Simpsons.
I want it for this one, like, because by this point we'd only had, the 2 seasons and then the episode 1 of season 3, and Morty is still on the cusp of becoming more jaded. So by this point, he still cares about certain things rather than just saying, screw it, I'm going. Because Morty has matured as a character over the last 2 seasons, and that's nice. That's really fun to watch because, he's not continually being this doe-eyed, stupid, idealistic character. He's getting more mature. But at this point, in his own canon, the character was still very innocent and trying his hardest to do the right thing. So yeah, having him overreact and Rick just not giving a friggin' crap about all of it, I think worked for him.
Yeah, so Rick's return to the fan film, basically to gloat.
Pretty much.
Yep, he's out. Wubba lubba dub dub, and he fires into the meta rant of, "You thought this was a Johnny Bravo fan film, but really, it's a Rick and Morty fan film, mother effers." I'm coming for you Szechuan Mulan McDonald's sauce.
Chris, if only you knew just how out of hand that Szechuan sauce situation would
Oh,
get.
I know. I followed that on the news. I saw all the clips, and I'm like, these idiots are insane.
Right.
And I wanted to capitalize on their insanity and make fun of the whole thing. And I actually I get back to that joke in the next one, and I think I end that joke very well because we never heard anything about the Szechuan sauce again after that episode. They never brought it up. And I'm like, okay, good. Then I did the right thing with my joke also of just ending it. And I think in the second one, Rick and Morty Strike Again, I feel that I actually explain why we never hear about that damn sauce anymore pretty well with my pop.
I love that. I can't wait to hear that.
But yeah, for that shot, I actually had John, grabbing me, and I was moving him around more than he was moving me around. That way, he didn't like push me into a wall.
Yeah, no one ever really considers that. Yeah, when they're grabbing the camera, they're not just grabbing the camera; they're grabbing the guy holding the camera.
Well, he physically couldn't grab the camera because the camera was small. So my camera is, a Canon 5D. So if he actually tried to just grab the camera by itself, his palms would cover the lens.
Yeah,
he had to grab my hands that were holding the rig that was that the camera was mounted onto, and that way we could have this back and forth where I was, moving him and he was moving me, and it felt natural but unstable at the same time because we tried one where he just led me and it was all over the place. I'm like, all right, let me try this, and we went in certain directions. That way I could get Morty in the shot and get the angles that I wanted, and without having to cut too, because that was an unbroken shot. Once he grabs the camera, it's an unbroken shot. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to have his reactions at a certain point where he's like literally screaming and drooling into the camera at the end, and it's just pure freaking madness that, it just makes sense.
Then we have something very on brand for Rick and Morty, which again, just so well represented. Even in the credits of this fan film, we have a post-credit scene.
And the credits have now taken on the form of the Rick and Morty font, and with the theme playing too. We've realized they've completely hijacked the whole thing. So yeah.
It's all come full circle, man. And of course, what are Rick and Morty gonna do to encourage a sequel? They're gonna beg for views, baby. It's all about that views. It's all about the viewership. It's all about the advertising dollars, right?
Also, while they're watching interdimensional cable, am I right?
Yes, they're watching the Plumbus documentary.
Oh my god!
And I thought it was because I know for a fact every time I post something that is remotely good, I always get people saying, "Oh my god, when are you going to make a part 2?" And I always have to say, I don't know, when are you gonna, like, share, and subscribe, and
Right,
get
exactly.
views
Yeah.
and everything like that. And I've been getting a little annoyed with it lately more than usual, but I wanted to just nip that one in the bud. So if anybody was watching this, just flat out like, are you gonna make another one? I don't know, Morty. We need like a lot of views, like a million views.
That would take advertising.
It vaguely reminds me of like the attitude that Mr. Poopy Butthole had at the end of season 2, where it's like, we're gonna be back in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it'll happen eventually if you put your mind to it.
So then you did something I'm very grateful for, Chris. You shot Jerry.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, right.
I have
Alright.
disdain for Jerry Smith outside of that whole daycare of Jerry's moment. So anytime he
That's
gets
the best Jerry episode by a long shot.
yes,
So-
that being the exception. Anytime we punish Jerry, I'm all for it.
So that joke came from a couple of places. One, I had the gun, I had the laser, and I wanted to show it. I didn't have anywhere to really show it, so I'm like, all right, I gotta find a place to put that in. And then two, the actor who played Jerry, I personally, he kind of gets on my nerves. And I was like, and he's like, hey, if you got anything going on, I'd love to be in it. And I'm like,
oh, God.
yeah, I do.
Oh, Notarile, I love the way your mind works.
This isn't the first time I've done stuff like this either. I had this one actor that I worked with, and I would always kill him in my stuff. And because he was annoying, but I needed a guy who would die in things, and he like, hey, if you got anything, I'd be happy to do it. I'm like, all right, fine, you're gonna do this character, you're gonna die. He goes, all right, fine. I get the reel, he gets footage for his reel, and I get to kill him again. And then one time he sent these people my way to do an interview about him, where they were gonna ask me how good of an actor he was.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Wow.
And you lied through your teeth, or not?
Of course, because I'm a good actor. And so they're like, would you, you've worked with him a couple of times now, you think he's a really good actor? I'm like, he's really good at dying. And, would you ever work with him again? I go, as long as I get to keep killing him, I will happily keep working with him. Like that was I was being honest,
Yep.
but not fully honest.
For sure.
So
Yep.
that's kind of where the Jerry gag came from, because, the guy who played that, nice guy, but
He tests you.
he can get, he tests me, and so and not for any, and he's not even trying to, he's just that kind of he is a Jerry
Yep.
in real life. Like he's an earworm that just gets in under your skin, and you're just like, God damn it, dude, like shut up. Like, why are you talking type guy? And again, I don't want to rag on him right now, but you brought it up, and I have all these memories coming back to me.
Hey, I just said I didn't like Jerry. I never said anything
I know.
about
What is Jerry? And so yeah, I brought him over. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get shot. And he's like, okay. I may have made him do a few more takes than he needed to.
Oh, boy.
Like, I'm pretty sure we nailed it in the first one. I'm like, yeah, let's do it again. One more for safety.
Speaking of guns, I forgot.
Another.
Sorry, I forgot to ask this earlier. The portal gun. So you mentioned that you had 3D printed a portal gun before it became kind of in vogue. Was this the printed 3D portal gun, or was this like the name brand?
This is a 3D printed portal gun I had gotten off of eBay, actually. This guy was making them themselves, and it was pretty cool because it had the toggle switch on it, and made the sound effect, and it lit up when you fired it.
Really?
Yeah, and I had to, of course. It actually projected. Remember, like the Ghostbuster, a proton, a gun that would, act as a projector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. It projected a portal-ish looking light onto your wall. And I didn't need that. I used special effects and sound effects up and everything. But
it's cool.
But then I ended up finding the store brand portal gun, and I didn't like it as much because it wasn't the same color scheme. It was more silvery. It had it just felt very plasticky.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like actual technology. It felt like a toy. So I'm glad that I got the version that I got versus what's currently out there.
You got one that was actually built, like Rick Sanchez would have built it.
Yeah, and it was physically heavier. It felt weighted, and it felt like the kind of thing that a scientist would make versus getting a toy version of it at the store. So I was very pleased with that one. As for the laser, that actually was a store brand one that I found at Hot Topic, which I thought was pretty neat. But that one was made of foam, and there is now a plastic one that actually has a working trigger. Pretty decent. I kind of dig that one too. I just don't have it.
All right, so you can't sneak up on people like that, Jerry. That's how accidents happen. It's a great final line in Shooting of Jerry. So yes.
Yeah.
And that's the ending. That's it's the end. Go home now. And one of the few times you've done post-credit scenes before, but not often. So it's kind of special.
Yeah, I'm not Marvel, and I don't feel the need to always tack something on. I only would put a post-credit scene on if it actually works for the story itself.
Yeah.
And that I think on the rare occasions that I did it, the only ones that come to mind are Rick and Morty, because it's and Punisher. I was going to get to that one. I think that might have been my first one, and that was only because I had intentions of bringing Typhoid Mary back. And I didn't feel like reshooting a whole this is how I'm alive. So I'm like, hey, while we're here, let's just get a shot of you being alive again, and tease you coming back in the near foreseen future. And that was that. But yeah, Rick and Morty, that's part of their show. So I needed to have that, and I always prepared myself to have an end gag for Rick and Morty.
All right, so I guess just final thoughts on y'all's part. Chris, any other things you want to say about this, just in general?
This one is definitely, funny, and we got a lot of views for it, but I do have to say that I believe the second one, I was firing on all 4 cylinders, and I'm more excited about that than I am this. John had, by that point, had some, experience doing Rick, and his portrayal in Rick and Morty Strike Again is just light years beyond this one, in my opinion. And I think the Johnny Bravo elements shine a little bit more than Rick and Morty do in this one, in terms of accuracy and in terms of quality, because it was very sharp and efficient, whereas Rick and Morty just felt like they were still coming into their own as characters. So I'm more excited for Rick and Morty Strike Again.
Okay, no, that's totally fair. I do, however, really like, of course, the last fan film we talked about on your end was Freakazoid. And I do really appreciate that this is almost like a spiritual successor to that, in terms of okay, how can we get meta with the fan film genre?
Thematically, it fits. Thematically, it does fit.
How can we fit, how can we fit meta humor into the genre of a fan film and still have it actually fit within the source material that we're making a fan film out of as well. That's a balancing act, man, and it's I think you pulled it off.
It is, and it's definitely fun to traverse that. And I feel that Powdered Toast Man's going to have that same effect, even though I'm not going to be calling it a fan film in the film itself.
Yeah.
Like Freakazoid, we go, hey, I want you to make a fan film. Rick and Morty, we go, this is a fan film.
Right.
But I like that idea of just taking something that is beloved and subverting it, whether it be for positive or negative effect. I just like the idea of making you look at something different. I just it brings fresh eyes to something you already love, and you're like, oh, that's a whole new layer. And then it's like I had talked about when I was doing my Kruger series, being able to play on the other side of the sandbox and not have to, everybody that does a Freddy Krueger fan film, they always do the Dream Demon Freddy Krueger, but very few people do the human, I'm alive, child murderer, serial killer Freddy Krueger, But that's what I wanted to do because not a lot of people do it. I like being able to do those types of things because A, I stand out, B, it's different, and C, I get to give people a new way of looking at something that they enjoy.
Right, well said. Okay, Dragon, any final thoughts on your end?
Yes, I truly think this is one of the cleverest, Blinky production fan films. I really do. it's two for the price of one, both very well represented. It's how like again, it's exactly like how Rick and Morty would lampoon an iconic character like a Garfield, say you, or something, and with that heady or interdimensional twist applied to it. Again, as I said, rare is the day Notarile's casting is not on point, and this is not that day, man. It's just so finely tuned. And I mean, look, I prefer the Rick and Morty follow-up we're going to talk about to this, but I cannot deny the ingenuity of this short film. It's quite wonderful.
I do feel that had I not done this, I would not have thought to do the second one. So obviously I owe the second one to the first one. So I'm very grateful to have both. But yeah, I believe the second one is like the Terminator 2 of the group. This is Terminator 1, but that's definitely Terminator 2.
Totally. All right. Well, Chris, big thanks for stopping by the channel once again, man. I always appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, Chris, would you like to? We already kind of plugged Powdered Toast.
Tell them about Barda. Tell them about Big Barda.
Yeah. By all means.
So I don't know when you guys are airing this, but tomorrow night for me, which is going to be 9 p.m. Thursday night East Pacific Coast time, midnight Friday East Coast time, I am premiering Big Barda of Suburbia on my channel, Blinky500. And if you're a fan of Justice League International, if you're a fan of the New Gods, if you're a fan of just Big Barda and Mr. Miracle, you're going to want to check that out because, I know that I think it was Ava DuVernay was going to do a New Gods movie and then Warner Brothers just shit-canned the whole project. Well, this is basically the best thing you're going to get in the face of that. And it's at least funny. We try to make you laugh in this one.
Nice, cool. I will. I'll have a link to that in the description. This will be up on my channel slightly before that premieres, so hopefully that'll drive some viewership your way.
And if you're listening to this live tonight, Barda of Suburbia.
Indeed. All right, and of course we will be back talking about that second Rick and Morty sketch, Chris, next week. I'm excited for that.
I'm actually excited because I want to bring aboard Lindsay Bean, who played Wendy. She's with me, so I'm pretty excited to have her give her thoughts on that because she actually really helped behind the scenes on that project.
Could be awesome,
for sure. And then of course Rick and Morty, the new season coming very soon, so we will be recapping that as well. So fun stuff coming up, folks. All right, see y'all later. Have a good one.
Oh my.
Goodbye.
Gonna get that Szechuan sauce, Morty. No matter how many fucking fan films I have to ruin. Shit. Okay.
Dub.
Okay. Sorry, I accidentally edited out of Skype, and then, okay, we're stopping recording now. Good night, everybody. Sorry about that.